to invite you into a deeper conversation, and one not just with me, but with yourself. Because the truth is, we've spent so much of our lives giving our energy away to the past, to people, to problems, to outcomes we can't control. And yet, within each of us, there is a powerful intelligence, a system designed for healing, for growth, for transformation. Now, science shows us that where you place your attention is where you place your energy. And if your attention has been locked on everything outside of you, then it's no wonder you feel scattered, depleted, even disconnected. But what happens when you bring that energy back? When you focus on you? When you become conscious of your thoughts, your emotions, and your energetic state, you begin to reclaim something sacred, your power. You are not a victim of your environment. You are not defined by your past. You are a creator. And when you shift your focus inward, you step into the seat of that creative power. You stop living by default and you begin living by design. Where you place your attention is where you place your energy. This isn't just a motivational idea, it's a neurological and energetic truth. The human brain is designed to wire and fire in response to what we consistently focus on. When your attention is constantly directed outward, if you keep revisiting a past event, replaying the memory, reliving the emotion, your body believes it's happening all over again. Your biology doesn't know the difference between an experience and the memory of it. So you stay stuck, energetically and chemically anchored to the past. And what does that do? It robs the present moment of its power. The only place you can change anything is in the now. And yet your energy is trapped in what was. You cannot create a new personal reality with the same personality that's emotionally conditioned by yesterday. But the moment you begin to pull your attention away from the distractions, the drama, the noise, and instead place it inward, you're reclaiming energy. You're telling your brain, your body, and the quantum field, I'm no longer investing in survival. I'm choosing creation. And when you hold that focused attention on a clear intention, something remarkable happens. The brain begins to rewire. The heart begins to entrain. Your energy begins to align with your future, not your past. All transformation starts here with the simple, powerful act of choosing where your attention goes. You cannot create a new future while anchored to the emotions of the past. This is one of the most fundamental principles of personal transformation. Emotions are records of past experiences. And every time you feel the same emotion, you're signaling to your body and brain that you're still living in that past event. Whether it's guilt, anger, resentment, fear, or sadness, those emotional states are chemically imprinting you with a version of reality that no longer exists. And as long as you're emotionally connected to that history, you continue to unconsciously recreate it in your present life. Your thoughts, decisions, and actions become predictable, and so does your future. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between what's real and what's imagined. So when you're caught in a loop of past-based emotions, you're essentially programming your body to stay in the same familiar state. You wake up and immediately recall yesterday's worries. You wake up and immediately recall yesterday's worries. Feel the same emotional reactions and set off the same neurological path. That's not just a bad habit, it's a biological reality. You're living by a memorized self. And if your energy is rooted in the past, you're projecting that past onto everything you see. The future, no matter how much you say you want change, remains a reflection of what's already happened. To truly create a new future, you have to break the emotional addiction to the past. That means becoming aware of your emotional triggers, observing them without reacting, and choosing to feel something new. It requires teaching your body what the future feels like before it happens. Gratitude, joy, love, inspiration, these elevated emotions become the new anchors, no longer to history, but to possibility. Only then can your energy become coherent with a reality that hasn't happened yet, but is waiting to be experienced. The body becomes addicted to familiar feelings. Break the habit of being yourself. Every thought you think produces a chemical in the body. When you repeatedly think the same thoughts, feel the same emotions, and perform the same behaviors, you create a predictable pattern. Over time, this pattern becomes hardwired into your nervous system, and your body starts to memorize it better than your mind. It begins to run the program for you. You wake up, check your phone, recall your problems, feel the same stress, and then move through your day thinking it's all happening to you, but in truth, you're just reliving a memorized past. The familiar emotions, whether they're frustration, worry, self-doubt, or even unworthiness, become chemical addictions. The body craves them not because they're good for you, but because they're predictable. They're known, and the body, conditioned by years of repetition, prefers the known over the unknown, even if the known causes suffering. This is what it means to be stuck in a familiar identity. You're not just thinking the same way, you're feeling the same way. And that feeling becomes your personal reality. To change your life, you have to become greater than your environment, greater than the habits hardwired into your body, and greater than the emotions that keep you tied to your past. This begins with awareness. When you catch yourself in the middle of an automatic reaction, when you observe the same emotion rising in response to the same trigger, that's the moment of power. That's when you interrupt the program. And as you teach your body that it no longer gets to be in charge, you reclaim the driver's seat. With intention and elevated emotion, you can signal new genes, create new neural pathways, and recondition the body to it. That's how you break the habit of being yourself. Inner focus rewires the brain and recalibrates your personal reality. The moment you direct your attention inward, you begin to interrupt the constant feedback loop between your outer world and your internal state. Most people wake up and immediately connect with the external, emails, notifications, responsibilities. And in doing so, they reinforce the same patterns of thinking, feeling, and behaving. But when you deliberately shift your focus to your inner world, you activate the prefrontal cortex, the seat of higher consciousness, and begin the process of becoming self-awareness. That self-awareness is the first step toward personal transformation. When you're no longer distracted by the outer environment, your energy naturally returns to you. You begin to notice the automatic thoughts you've been thinking, the emotional states you've been living in, and the stories you've been telling yourself without even realizing. Meditation, breath work, visualization, these aren't just spiritual tools. They're neurological tools. Every time you practice going within, you're rewiring circuits in the brain. Neurons that no longer fire together begin to prune away. New patterns begin to form, supported by your intention and attention. The brain, once shaped by the past, begins to be reshaped by the future you're envisioning. In the process, the body begins to change too. Heart rate slows, stress hormones lower, and coherence emerges between your brain and heart. This coherence is not just emotional balance, it's a new level of alignment. Your personal reality, which is made up of how you think, act, and feel, begins to shift because your inner state is shifting. You're no longer reacting to the world, you're generating a new one from within. And with enough practice, this inner work begins to show up as outer change. Life starts to reflect your internal transformation, not your past conditioning. You are not a victim of your life. You are the creator of it. Most people live as if life is happening to them, not realizing that their internal state is producing the very outcomes they experience. When you believe that your circumstances are more powerful than your mind, you give away your power. You begin to blame, complain, and react, reinforcing the same emotions and behaviors that keep you stuck in the same patterns. This victim mentality is a result of unconscious living. It's what happens when you're unaware that your thoughts, feelings, and actions are constantly signaling energy into the quantum field and attracting experiences that match your state of being. The moment you begin to wake up to this truth, everything changes. You realize that your current life is not the result of chance, but the product of repeated inner states. If you feel lack, if you feel empowered, you draw in experiences that reflect that empowerment. You are constantly broadcasting an energetic signature, and the field responds in kind. Becoming the creator means taking full responsibility for that signal. It means choosing your thoughts with intention, mastering your emotional state, and aligning your behaviors with the future you want, not the past you've lived. Creation begins when you move from unconscious reaction to conscious action. It's in those moments, when you feel triggered but choose differently, when you feel fear but take the step anyway, when you stop waiting for life to change and instead become the cause of change, that's when you step into your power. That's when you stop living as the memory of your past self and start embodying your future self. You are not bound by genetics, history, or environment. You are bound only by what you believe is possible.